So welcome back. I'm Jaws Carwin.
And I'm Natalie Jackson, and we're part of the Eros Work team.
And we created this video series to give you a better sense of what an Eros Work weekend might be all about and whether you might like to join us for one.
This video is a little bit more about who we are and why we're so passionate about this work.
So Natalie, who are you and why did you get involved in Eros Work?
I'm Natalie Jackson, and I live in Alberta, Canada, Western Canada. And I'm a mother of 3 boys, and have an eco farm here and a retreat center here on our land. And super passionate at this point in my life, really passionate about sexuality. My husband and I have been together for 22 years now, and in a monogamous relationship, and going through parenting, going through childbirth, going through all of the shifts and all the challenges we've had, and really trying to figure out who are we in the midst of that. Who are we as a couple, and can we keep that spark alive as a couple and show up in that way in our family and show up in that way in the world. My own desire around sexuality, especially after childbirth, had really dwindled off to almost nothing. And so we decided to really explore. It wasn't good enough. I wasn't satisfied at all with the status quo, and going through my whole experience of motherhood and parenting and in a family and not having sexual juice. That just wasn't good enough for me. So, and it wasn't good enough for my husband either.
And how did that searching lead you to Eros Work?
And so then there's a smaller group of us that started gathering and talking about our sexuality and talking about our shadows around it and bringing stuff up to the light that maybe we hadn't really spoken with anybody else before. Even our partners, there was a degree of safety within the circle that we could talk about things that, maybe we couldn't even bring to our partnerships, just till we could get some understanding around it, and got the understanding and really started to ignite that spark again. And it enhanced my relationship with my partner. We have a really healthy sexual relationship together. My desire anyway, to show others how to do that, to bring that to the table, to show that it's possible, it's actually possible to have a long relationship with someone and still be beautifully attracted to and still have lots of pleasure in the realm of sexuality and sensuality. There's a part of me that just wants to be a catalyst for that Eros being unlocked for as many people as want to go to that doorway. I want to be the one that opens up that door. Tell me a bit about yourself and what brought you to Eros Work.
It started from me falling in love with shadow work. And I grew up with this sense that something wasn't right. That the way my family was interacting, the way I was interacting with my peers, the way the world was going on, something wasn't right here. And it hurt. It made me sad and scared and frustrated that the way I wanted people to connect and be treating one another just wasn't the way it was done. And I spent much of my life searching for, why do I keep doing these things that make me and other people so unhappy? Why do the people I love keep doing things that make themselves and me so unhappy? And when I discovered shadow work, it's like a way of looking at human beings where it suddenly all made sense. And looking at what's operating under the surface. What am I not seeing that's driving the bus that's causing me to do things that suck the joy out of my life, or limit me, or keep me isolated or disconnected? And as I discovered shadow work and started doing this work and started unpacking and reclaiming all of who I am, one of the things I really wanted to do was look at my own sexuality. Because in many ways I'd been taught to hide it. I remember one of the first times I was going on a date. I don't remember what my mom said, but the message I got from her is, don't you hurt her. Don't you do anything that's going to be bad for her. It's the message I got is, who I am is wrong. And I need to hide it. I need to protect everybody from me. I was never celebrated as a sexual being. And there's always a sense in me that the sexual energy in me is a good thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's something to be shared and enjoyed and be proud of. And yet the message I got from the rest of the world was the exact opposite. And so I learned to watch myself and hide myself and limit myself and not be who I fully am, out of fear of hurting other people, out of fear of being rejected, out of fear of being shut down, cut off. And I wanted to reclaim that. I wanted to reclaim all that, the beauty that I felt I had inside me, that it felt like nobody else saw.
So how did that desire help you to create Eros work?
I ended up having a conversation with Cliff Berry about this, the man who created shadow work. And he's really juiced about that as well. And so we reached out to some other people, including Natalie and Heidi and Bridget and Judd, who we thought would really want to explore this area as well. And we just started talking about our own sexuality. And from that, we started applying the shadow work tools to our sexuality. And from that, we said, hey, we want to do this for other people. So we created the Eros Work Weekend, which is a chance for everybody to really reclaim what is beautiful and wonderful and powerful and life-giving about their sexuality, and to recover from a world that views our sexuality very, very differently than that. So what impact has Eros Work had on your life?
Well, for me, Eros work has been an uncovering. It's been kind of a slow and steady discovery of who I really am as a sexual being. So it's helped me in my relationship with my partner of 21 years. It's helped to really keep the spark and the juice alive for us. And in some way, it's helped me to keep the spark and the juice alive for all of my life. It kind of animates me, if that makes sense. It like enlivens me. It enriches my life in so many ways.
And how has it shifted the way you interact with people who aren't your partner?
So how this has shifted my interactions with others is I find I have more juice for living now. I have a lot more kind of excitement and passion that just drives me, and it kind of explodes out into every experience that I'm in. It's way easier for me to speak in front of crowds now, to bring a lot of humor into the work that I do now. I can laugh at myself a lot easier now. I can laugh at kind of the sexual fumbles I've gone through over the years. So it's brought levity, and it's brought a lot of joy to my life. And what about you, Giles? What impact has Eros work had on your life?
So the impact for myself is I've really started to appreciate and embrace and enjoy all of my sexuality. I've sort of gotten out of the closet for all of who I am as a sexual being. Really embracing the fact that I'm polyamorous and bisexual and have a kinky relationship with my wife. Embraced my homoeroticism, embraced my desire to connect with a bunch of people, embraced my desire to be deeply pair bonded with my wife, embraced my desire to be playful and silly and edgy and dark and powerful. And I just stopped being afraid of all of those things and started to really explore them and appreciate them and share them. And doing the really beautiful hard work of creating this amazing relationship that I don't think either of us could have done without the tools that we learned from shadow work and Eros work. We're able to meet each other and accept each other in ways that I've never had in a relationship before. And a lot of that comes from what I've discovered, exploring my shadows and learning to love and accept them, and exploring, learning to love and accept her shadow.
How's that?
That was great.
I didn't talk about the goddess once, not even once.
What does the goddess think of the Eros Work Weekend?
You bastard. So the Eros, in my belief system, comes from the divine feminine. That when we can like surrender and open and release and let go, that's when she starts to come through us. And so that's why another reason why I love this work is because we can really get into the kind of the juice of, how does it feel in my body and what's going on inside of me? How does my belly feel? How does my heart feel? How does my mind feel? And allowing that Eros to permeate its way through my physical body. There's something about this like capacity to breathe life through your body. And we experience it when we have really powerful sexual encounters, and the capacity to experience that in other aspects of our life is also there.
So that brings us to the end of our second video. Hope you have a better idea of who we are and why we're so passionate about this work.
Yeah, and stay tuned for our next video, which is going to talk a little bit about what's the impact that a weekend like this can have on you as a participant.
If you're interested in following this up, you can go to eroswork.com. I'll have more information about upcoming weekends, how to register, a lot more about us and Eros Work in general. We look forward to meeting you someday.